Coming up next on Her Business Playbook.
Every single role in our medical center is as important as the next. We need every single person to create an experience where our patients aren't worrying and making them feel like they made the right choice here and they're in good hands. Every role.
Every role.
Every role.
Every role impacts brand. The Her Business Playbook podcast is produced in partnership with the Columbus Chamber of Commerce. Hi team, I'm Takesha Shepherd-Jones, founder and host of the Her Business Playbook podcast. And I'm so thrilled to have one of my favorite brand leaders with us today, Lori Abshire. She is the AVP of Brand Experience and Content Strategy from The Ohio State University, my alma mater.
All right, mine too.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Wexner Medical Center. Thank you so much for joining us. I have a lot of questions to ask you, so we're going to just jump right in.
Let's do it.
What brand do you remember making a big impression on you as a girl and why?
I would have to say Nike. Nike made a huge impression on me. I'll still never forget in 7th grade, going into junior high. Back then, that was when you went into 7th, 8th, 9th grade. And my grandfather gave me $100 to buy an outfit for first day of school, for school.
Oh, yeah.
And I bought a pair of Nikes. And Takesha, that was 40 some years ago. And a few weeks ago in Vegas, that same type of Nike shoe is cool again. They always bring it back.
That's a great brand, right?
It is. It is. But Nike made a huge impression. Just the health and wellness and being athletic.
It's one of the best and strongest out there, right? Still to this very day. So what inspired you to take on your current leadership role? What path led you here?
Oh my goodness. My current role actually is pretty unique because I report into our Chief Marketing, Chief Communications Officer, but I also have a dotted line into our Chief Human Resources Officer. So it's very unique. And what I'm trying to do is help bridge that team member engagement that lives in HR, is the way people truly believe it lives, but having that marketing and communications, that voice of the customer, the way that we always look. We're the ones that truly are focused on the customer and bring that thinking over to our team member experience. So I actually kind of pushed for this role, put a proposal together. I felt strongly about the importance of connecting two parts of an organization that sometimes becomes siloed. And I wanted to help bring us closer together and make a bigger impact for Ohio State.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things that stood out to me just talking to you in advance of this interview, just your connection to HR as a brand leader, because employees are your number one brand ambassadors.
Absolutely.
So it makes a lot of sense. And I think that'll be very inspirational to a lot of other enterprise leaders, right? That dotted line, it makes a lot of sense.
It can make a big impact. Leverage your marketing partners, your marketing and communication partners, and all the things that we bring to the table to help our internal organization even more.
Makes total sense. So how does your role more specifically help to grow the Wexner Medical Center's brand?
Well, you mentioned content strategy. So a big part of my team is our content team and our health and discovery site that was introduced a few years ago to help us better tell our stories, our physician stories and the amazing research that's happening at Ohio State. People drive up and down 315, they see big buildings, but what they don't see is the incredible work that is happening behind the scenes in these labs and the research that's being done by our team at Ohio State. It's absolutely incredible. And we want to do a better job of telling those stories. So we introduced that website, Health and Discovery, and it's made an enormous impact on allowing people when they get diagnosed or when they have a loved one that has something, they now have some stories that are written in a way that they can understand and have hope of what can be possible for their loved one.
When looking at anyone and looking at your LinkedIn profile, what stands out to me is your your purpose, that intro bio, right, to your profile. And it reads in part, I love building teams on a foundation of psychological safety. Can you talk a little bit more about what that means and why it's so important to you as a leader?
Yeah, psychological safety isn't something that you just get to have with your team. It's built in small moments every day, but it has to be purposeful. And what I've tried to do with my team is, one, I share my mistakes. So if you share your mistakes, people feel more comfortable sharing theirs. I let everyone know that I'm open to feedback. I want their feedback. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. And the folks that give me feedback, I think, will tell you it's very well received. We all have to get better. And one of the most important things we can do as leaders is reflect. I reflect every day on that. But psychological safety is so important, and you have it when someone makes that call to you or someone gives you that feedback that you didn't necessarily want to have or want to hear, but you needed to hear it, and they felt safe enough to give it to you.
Yeah.
It's so important. So important.
Well, I encourage everybody to take a look at your LinkedIn profile because I am really inspired by your thoughts about leadership and just in building a great team.
Yeah, in my About section, I have my leadership statement. And I would highly encourage anyone to take a look at that and have some discussion about making sure you have one of those.
Lori, you're a very busy person. You have a big job. Can you provide some insight on what your typical morning routine is like as you get ready to juggle it all?
8 years ago, I mentioned exercise is very important to me. And I honestly, for however many years, 45, I didn't have a great exercise plan that I was committed to. And I'm not trying to be a spokesperson here for Orange Theory, but I finally found something that works for me. And I highly encourage anybody, find what works for you, but it works for me. And I am there 3 times during the week in the morning, early morning, clearing my head. It is as important for my physical health as it is my mental health. And I'm so thankful for it. That starts my day off right. I have a plan of how I'm gonna get through, but with my job, it's different every day. So I have to have that clear head because you never know what's gonna happen. The day you have planned isn't always the way it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've really admired about the Wexner Medical Center is its avid and very visible support of women in the community. Can you talk about why that's such an important part of your brand?
Yeah, well, there's really a couple reasons, Takesha. A big one is if you think about the healthcare decision maker, it's a woman, 35 to 54. We're the ones, although I'm just barely out of that group now, but we're the ones that are making the decision for our families, for our loved ones, for our parents, for our children. And so our female audience is so critically important that they see us in the community, they see the impact we're trying to make, but also, I've got some great news for you. If you look at the College of Medicine and the enrollment there, over half of the enrollment are women now. So it's so important that we continue to showcase medicine as a great opportunity for women, not only in medicine and nursing and all the other fields. Women play such an important role, and we'll continue to stay focused on women.
No doubt. One of the programs that I know you've been a big driver behind is the center's Buckeyes Paws program. Now, and I'm a big dog fan, I'm a dog mom, and so it's one of the programs that stood out to me is really helping to distinguish your brand and to make a big impact internally, with students, with patients. It's been a big hit. Can you talk about what the program is and your personal connection?
Yeah. Buckeye Paws started in 2022, and I have to give a huge shout out, again, to 2 nurses who started that program, Mary Justice and Beth Steinberg. And they did it because we're in the midst of COVID, and we wanted to do something to help relieve the stress for our faculty and staff. And they started this program. Their dogs, Shiloh and Bren, two of the OGs, that's what we call them, the original ones for Buckeye Paws. It's such an incredible program. We have over 50 dogs now that take care of our faculty and staff. We go in and visit faculty and staff. We have another program called Comfort Paws that will go out and visit patients now. I can still see a patient if I get a request and I'm on the floor, but we're really there to help relieve the stress of our faculty and staff. And I tell you, Takesha, when I go in there with my little dog Penny, at night shift, we go in at night shift, you can just see, as soon as I walk up to someone, you can see their face change, and they're just like, oh, this is what I needed right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it is amazing. And these little dogs and big dogs, Penny's one of 4, take on all of that stress, all that stress. It's an incredible program, and I can't thank those 2 women enough for starting it and their passion and commitment to making it happen.
And talk about Penny, right? Just the personal connection there.
Yeah, well, Penny is a little Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
But more importantly, Penny was my mom's dog. And my mom passed 7 years ago, and I have Penny now. Penny is my heart.
Yeah.
You got to see Penny in my office. I brought her into the office.
She's the queen.
Yeah, I normally don't bring her into the office, but I did that day. And she brings a lot of joy to people. And my mom really wanted to be a nurse when she was growing up. But I shared with you, my mom was born with a significant facial difference. She shouldn't have lived past birth. She was born in a Catholic hospital. They actually christened her right then. And she did make it. And she was in and out of the hospital for 18 years, over 100 surgeries at a hospital up in Wilmington, Delaware, that the DuPont family started that provided free care. My grandparents never paid for any of my mother's care. It was just incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. But my mom loved Penny, and my mom helped raise dogs growing up too. But she said Penny was her best dog she ever had.
Oh,
and I believe that. Yeah. So she's my heart, and I'm so thankful. And every time I'm in the hospital and Penny's impacting a nurse, I just know my mom's thrilled.
Oh,
thrilled.
Absolutely.
Thrilled.
Absolutely. All right, Lori, we have what we call our free throw lightning round questions that you've not seen in advance. Okay, so answer the best that you can, and let's just have fun.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Number 1, you're a Buckeye, scarlet or gray?
Scarlet.
2, if your career were a sport, what would it be?
Football.
Number 3, favorite self-care treat. You're in healthcare.
Favorite self-care treat, Orange Theory.
Number 4, favorite hype song.
Oh, wow. Hey, Look, Mom, I Made It.
All right.
I don't know if that's the name of the song, but Hey, Look, Mom, I Made It. Do you know that song?
No, but you know, everybody
We'll have to look up what the name of it actually is, but that's the song.
Everybody needs a good hype song.
Yeah.
Favorite line from a movie.
You Can't Handle the Truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
If your brand walked into an ice cream shop, what would it order?
Oh, Buckeye Blitz.
Of course.
Yeah.
Number 7, heels, sneakers, or flats?
Oh, Takesha, sneakers. That's easy. That's easy.
What's one aspect of your brand growth strategy that has proven most effective over time, and why?
Yeah. Well, one of the things for Ohio State is getting out in the community, right? So if you've been in Columbus the last 15 years, you've seen us expand out into all the suburbs.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the most important things as a marketer, communications person is that you're aligned with your operational partners. I've always called myself an operator's marketer.
Okay.
And that's really important. And as we've been developing out into these locations, supporting those urgent care we now have urgent cares all over Central Ohio. We did not have that. And us being aligned with our operational partners and putting together the marketing plans, and I give a lot of credit to my colleagues, Heidi Orsini and Melissa Hall, being aligned there has really helped Ohio State continue to grow our brand and provide access, more importantly, to the community so they can get the great care at Ohio State.
Let's talk a little bit about team.
Yeah.
Because you're big on team
I'm
and
big
you're
on
big
team.
on leadership. What are the key employee roles that are critical as it relates to the effectiveness of your team? And what lessons have you learned about supporting these staff members?
Let's be real clear here. Every role is important.
Yes.
Every role is important. And if people do go take a look at my leadership statement, they'll see the last line in my leadership statement. And my mom cleaned houses for $1 an hour. So I treat the EVS person and our CEO, Dr. Warner, the exact same way. And they are each as important to growing our brand. Every interaction that a patient or a visitor has with that transporter, so it's such an important role that's taking that patient to probably one of the most scary things possibly they've ever, going to a surgery, they're pushing them down in that gurney. That transporter is so important to our brand, so important, how they connect with that patient and maybe just ease their stress a little bit.
Yeah.
So every single role in our medical center is as important as the next.
Yeah.
I mean, we need them all. We
Yeah.
need every single person to create an experience where our patients aren't worrying. We're trying to take as much worry as we can off of them and making them feel like they made the right choice here and they're in good hands.
Yeah.
It's every role.
Every role.
Every role.
Every role impacts brand. I couldn't agree with
Absolutely.
you more. How about the roles on your team, right?
Yeah.
The direct reports. What are some of those roles?
Yeah, so I have our content team, which is our writers who are phenomenally talented. We have a small video team that does incredible work. We have, we basically have our own little internal advertising agency within my department of designers, photographer, videographers. And I've worked, before I came to the medical center, I worked with agencies in LA, Chicago, New York.
Yeah.
I've worked with a lot of the big ones. I will tell you, the work that my team does, I'd put up against any of them because they know the brand. They execute what the brand is, and they play a huge role in building our brand externally. A lot of what you see when you come in the medical center, any of the work you see, that's been done by our internal team, and a lot of work that you see out in the community, that's been done by our team. They do phenomenal work. I'm so proud of them.
Oh, I bet. And so what lessons have you learned about leading your team?
A big lesson I learned years ago was when you give feedback, and it's important to give. Feedback is a gift. I've had experiences in my career when I didn't get feedback, and you need feedback. But I did learn one time when I went to give feedback, and I gave the feedback, and the person came in my office the next day. And this is when I knew I also had created psychological safety. And she said, "Lori, I really appreciated the feedback yesterday. You were right, and I will grow from it. But one thing, if you'd be open to it." And I said, "Of course." She said, "Next time when you're giving somebody feedback, can you ask if now's a good time?" I'd had a really bad day, and I was open to the feedback, but it just wasn't the right time. And Emily told me that, and I said, "Emily, I so appreciate you telling me that."
Yeah.
And I have tried to live by that 100%. It's a little bit harder sometimes when some people are, maybe working virtual that day, or and you got to figure out when's the right time and how you do it. But I think that question is a good one
Yeah.
to remember. And I try to do that for my team.
So let's talk fumbles and recoveries.
Okay.
In your journey, what's one mistake or misstep that you have learned from?
Yeah. Well, I had a big one 2 months before I was graduating college. And fumbles and recoveries is perfect for this because I had the fumble and then I also recovered my fumble. So this is perfect.
Okay.
I waited tables for Bob Evans that helped me pay for college. I was 2 months from graduating, and my area director for Bob Evans came in the store. She found out I was graduating from college, and she came up to me and said, "Lori, I hear you're graduating. We'd love to have you. You've been such a great hire, and you do such a good job. We'd love to have you be a manager for Bob Evans after you graduate." And Takesha, I'm so embarrassed to tell you what I've said, but I share this story with young people, and I'm also wanting older people to hear this story too, because it's really important. This is what I said to Grace. Her name was Grace. This is no joke. Her name was Grace. I said, "Grace, that's exactly why I went to college, so I wouldn't have to be a restaurant manager."
Drop the ball.
Yeah, that's a big fumble, huh? I'm so embarrassed by it, but I think it's so important to share for a couple reasons. I don't know what happened at the end of that. I don't know how Grace walked away, but I can't even remember how it happened. But about 6 weeks later, I'm getting ready to graduate in a couple weeks, and there are no jobs. I'm not having any luck. There are no jobs. Grace comes back in the store. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't remember the first sentence I said to her. So I don't know how I even got her to listen to me. But the next sentence I do remember saying. I said, "Grace, if you will give me another chance, I promise you I will never let you down. Please give me another chance." She was obviously named that for a reason because she did exactly what her name.
Yeah.
She extended grace to me.
Yeah.
And she got me an interview, and I got a restaurant manager job. Back then, you couldn't be on your parents' insurance till you were 26.
Yeah.
And I at least was smart enough to know I needed insurance. And I did that job that I didn't want really well. I worked my butt off that year as a restaurant manager. But I was young. I was stupid. And grace allowed me to make a mistake and allowed me to forgive me and allow me to grow.
Yeah.
And I've told this story 1,000 times to young people that, don't discount those internships or those jobs that you don't necessarily want while you have in college because you never know what they'll be. But also I'd say to all my folks that are our age out there, be grace to some young person and I try to be grace. Now in my role, I have a lot of young people. I've mentored a lot of young people. I try to be grace to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I share that in honor of that woman who, I don't know where my life would be today if she wouldn't have given me that second chance.
I think everybody should work in a restaurant.
They
or
should.
In food service at some point. It just teaches you a lot about yourself, about other people, about grace.
About grace.
Hospitality, just all of that. So what a great story.
I'm so thankful for her.
Right? Want to ask you about leadership. We've talked about how important being a great leader, a leader of a team is. Biggest lesson learned around leadership?
The hardest and biggest lesson I had was during COVID. I was leading our, marketing and communications team, and my marketing team at the time, I was afraid we were going to lose our jobs because you weren't going to be out marketing in this. So I put my team on a bunch of projects that were really communications so they would have work. And we all went remote. They're all taking on work that they've never done before. I'm trying to lead them remotely. I'm worried sick about them. But personally, we have folks on our team that have kids that are going to graduate from high school in a couple months. They're not going to get to have graduation. Everything's changing. Sports, they're not getting to do that. Everything's changing. But we have people in our hospital who are putting their lives at risk every day. And I had people on my team that were like, I can't be sad, I can't feel disappointed that my kid doesn't get to have graduation because our nurses and our doctors and our respiratory therapists and all the other folks are putting their lives at risk. So how can I feel sad for myself? Mm-hmm. And luckily, I had gone through a grief class just a couple years prior after my mom passed. And I learned this really important psychology concept, which is compare and minimize. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Compare and minimize. So compare and minimize is when you compare what you're going through to someone else and you minimize it. So I don't get to go to my kid's high school graduation and I'm sad about that, but they are putting their lives at risk. They both can be true. Mm-hmm. You can still be sad that your kid doesn't get to have a high school graduation and you don't get to have the experience, and you can still feel empathy for what our clinical staff is going through, but you compare and minimize. And that helped me be a better leader for my team in that moment, because so many of us were going through that. Where a lot of people working from home, but we had that extra part where our other team members were in that hospital.
Yeah.
They were putting their lives at risk.
Yeah.
So that helped me be a better leader.
Yeah.
Compare and minimize. It's really, really important.
Love that concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful I learned that.
Yeah. Great advice. Thank you so much. I have learned a lot, a lot more about you, and you have done an incredible job. And
Thank you,
being an alumna of The Ohio State University, I can't thank you enough. We're all so appreciative, and I've had a great conversation with you today.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Takesha. This was a lot of fun.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
All right.
Go Bucks.
Thank you for listening and watching. We want to thank our presenting sponsor, the Columbus Chamber of Commerce, Brainstorm Media, and Kylie Lovesy Design. Listen and watch wherever you get your podcasts, and visit us online at herbusinessplaybook.com.